In Greece, 5 new holding camps are being built to the tune of almost $300 million. At the rate migrants are crossing into Greece from Turkey, however, no sooner will the camps be built than they will be full. The number of migrants entering Europe is up over 300% since last year. There are many other camps in Greece as well. I visited this one north of Athens, which holds more than 3,000 people from Iraq, Afghanistan, and Palestine. This camp has been here for years, and it's really turned into kind of its own little city. It's got market, nice eggplants, very good. It's got all kinds of shops, barber shops, everything they need. The only thing that they really can't get here is a passport or a visa to allow them to leave.
The weakest point at the external border is the weakest point for everybody, and people will exploit this.
Europe has a new border force called Frontex, which lends assistance to countries as the number of migrants continues to swell.
It is the first time that a European agency has, or even the EU has, a uniform service. So our budget is growing. We have a lot more responsibilities. We are dealing with border crime. We're becoming kind of like the border agency for the entire EU.
With just more than 1,400 employees at the moment, Frontex is slated to hire up to 10,000 people by 2024, with the threat of terrorism being a key driver for growth.
There are security issues, and you have to, at the very least, you have to know who's crossing the borders. And that's the basic responsibility of any border guard organization, certainly Frontex. We have to know who's coming in so that we can check them and screen them and then catch, potential security threats.
The central Mediterranean sea routes from Morocco, Tunisia, and Libya are especially worrisome, and especially so to the Italians and the Spaniards, who have seen quite a few terrorists come through on boats from those territories, along with larger, more benevolent refugee flows where they're camouflaging their way in.
I decided to fly from Greece to Morocco to get a look at the scope of this problem. For the millions of Africans who would love to make their way into Europe for a better quality of life, this is the narrowest point between the two continents. This is the Straits of Gibraltar. That's the Rock of Gibraltar right back there behind me. And it's only 8 miles from here to Europe. But there's an even closer way that they could cross into Europe and stay here in Africa. And that's by getting across this fence. That is all that separates Africa, Morocco in this case, from the enclave that belongs to Spain, which is a city called Ceuta. This tiny Spanish city of 80,000 has been hit hard with illegal crossings this year. At times, that number's been fomented by the Moroccan government as a way of punishing Spain over disagreements between the two countries.
9,000 people got, ended up in Ceuta, which is, it's a small place, and so most of them were sent back. But it showed again, like migrants being used as basically tools, let's say weapons for larger issues.
Otman Bobo is an Algerian migrant who has already been deported from Spain twice. Still, he intends to keep trying to get in.
At 4:30 in the morning, we entered the sea. There were 2 guard dogs there that smelled us. The guards told us to stop, but we kept swimming directly to Ceuta.
While he was caught and sent back, the fact that he can make 10 times as much money on the other side of that fence is the reason he keeps trying.
I have a job waiting for me in the scrapyard, just over there. A friend who I was in prison with is holding it for me. I'm not afraid, never. I'm 35 years old, and I've got nothing. It's better to die, to be killed. 35 years old with no life. It's crazy.
But the threat of more terrorists infiltrating with migrants is very real.
In 2020, just for example, of the 10 successful kinetic attacks on the mainland, half of them, 5 of them, were conducted by migrants or people who came in as migrants. There's some thought that at least a few of them were sent in on purpose by ISIS's External Operations Division.
If you talk to a lot of groups here, anybody who's coming to Europe, is a refugee. No, I'm sorry, because most of the people that come are not refugees. They're economic migrants, and you can have specific ways of dealing with them. But there has to be a system. You can't just open the doors and let anybody else in.
From Morocco,